movie is brilliant, man. You know, a huge undertaking, perfectly executed by the artist, written and directed by Melanie Martinez. It's called K-12. It's a perfect partner to the album of the same name, which is streaming now on Apple Music. K-12 is like your first major journey that you become aware of.
Yep.
Ultimately, when you start making decisions for yourself, it's at K.
Yep.
And Wheels on the Bus is kind of where that all begins.
Wheels on the Bus feels definitely the most kindergarten to me.
Yeah.
And it is the start, you know, going on the bus and having that whole experience, meeting people on the bus, either getting bullied on the bus or...
You were bullied? You were a victim of that?
Yeah, definitely. Big time. Oh, I was bullied for like my teeth, for how I dressed. You know, if I wore makeup, they would be like, oh, you look like a clown, you know, like just little things that like that. And I was very sensitive too. So I think that me being extra sensitive, just like
There is no point in anyone's life where being called a clown is fun.
No.
Did you always have a strong personality?
No, I was very introverted. I was kind of eccentric, but also very sensitive. So like I would get my feelings hurt easily when I was a kid, but I was also I was always like outdoors and always like climbing things, jumping off things. I was just all over the place.
So nature is a language that you understood?
Definitely. Yeah, that's like my, safe place, being out in the backyard and just like hearing the birds chirping and just like looking at like the trees blowing in the wind. Like that's my favorite.
It makes perfect sense because if we're talking about K-12 right here, the movie, which of course accompanies the album, and they're not separate, they're together. Nature plays a big part in this film. You filmed it in Budapest?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was very intense.
Why Budapest?
The locations, it would have been so expensive to try to build out all of those like Rococo, like Baroque style sets. So it was just perfect to like go and actually like location scout and see all these beautiful palaces that are just mind-blowing.
How long did you spend out there before you even started filming?
Oh, it was a month of pre-production in LA and a month of pre-production in Budapest. And then we shot, it was a 31-day shoot in Budapest.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me about the making of this record, because I was just saying one of the things I love about it is just like how complicated and yet simplistic the production is. There's so much going on, yet you retain these nursery rhyme type feels to the songs.
Yeah. Well, we started, me and Mikey Keenan produced it, Michael Keenan, and we started in 2015 after I put out Crybaby, and we would just, at first when I decided to make the whole overall theme school, I had to just write down a bunch of titles because that's the way that my brain works. Like I like thinking about the theme first, and then I'd go in the studio with Mikey and we would go through all these sounds and really just any sound that would come up that would remind me of a title that I had written down, and it was in that moment I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go with this title because we just found this sound and it makes sense and it feels like it's time to work on this. So like Class Fight, for example, is like probably the one song on the album that this happened with, because I never really go back. I always I write it then, I record it then, and I never touch it. So with Class Fight, it was the only song that I actually went back and I redid the whole chorus because I just didn't think it was strong enough lyrically and also melodically. And so I was just like, I'm going to redo this. And I was so happy that I did that because it's like one of my favorite songs to dance to.
Yeah, there's so much movement going on. It's
totally
great. What was the hardest song for you to wrangle, to get into shape?
I think the hardest song, I would say Class Fight because I had to go back to it. The other ones came pretty intuitively. Like the easiest song was like Nurse's Office, just happened and that was it.